Welcome back to Stories from the River. This is Charlie Maloof. I'm here with DeAngelo Burst for our fourth and final episode of the DeAngelo Burst series.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
So, DeAngelo, today we've talked a lot about narrative identity. We've talked about your background. What are you doing today?
So today I'm a professor, so I still teach. I teach at Montreat College, and doing a lot of speaking. And so that's typically what my days consist of for work.
And what are you teaching?
Oh man, I teach various branches of psychology. My specialty is social psychology and personality psychology. But man, I teach learning and memory, which is a cognitive psychology course. I teach sports psychology. I teach cultural diversity, which is not necessarily a psychology course. And so various branches, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've got some of your cards here. So
Right.
this is Breakroom Huddle.
Yeah.
So this is your company, Breakroom Huddle.
Mm-hmm.
What is Breakroom Huddle all about?
So all the social psychological goods that I bring to the table, what I do is I curate that in a way to help organizations, to help people in everything that I do and everything that I am as a speaker, as a mindset coach, and as a consultant, And so one example is a CEO hired me because he wanted his son to take over his company, but he and his son were having some very serious problems, and his son was getting ready to walk away from the business. And so he wanted me to help repair that relationship with his son, right?
And it looks like, is this in person? Is it e-learning? Is it both?
Oh, it's all of it, right?
Yeah.
So some of it, I get hired to do virtual talks, live talks. I have e-learning courses.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's a combination of a variety of things.
And that's at breakroomhuddle.com.
Breakroomhuddle.com or DeAngeloBurst.com.
Got it. And then there's this other flyer we've got here.
Yeah,
Cognitive behavioral coaching.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
This handsome young man on this picture here. So what is cognitive behavioral coaching?
So CBC is an adaptation from CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
All right. And so I work with the senior clinician at the Dweck Institute. The Dweck Institute is known for cognitive behavioral therapy. And so what I've done is I've adapted that, and some other folks have done it as well, to a coaching setting, right? So therapy, typically you're working through some issues, you know what I mean? And with coaching, it's about performance and about becoming better. And so I've just adapted that. But CBT is about thinking, changing negative thinking patterns that show up oftentimes in your emotions and also with your behavior. There's this triangle approach where you have your thoughts, right? You have your emotions and your behavior, and there's a three-way reciprocation of all those things and how they influence one another. And so that's what I do with cognitive behavioral coaching.
I see on here, overcome anxiety and depression. There's a guy who wrote Managing Leadership Anxiety, Steve Cuss. He's out in Colorado, and he was a hospice chaplain in his beginning of his career. And we went to a session that they had in Charlotte. It was great about the different types of anxiety. Yeah. And then you have this thing about increasing your motivation and grit. And as we were talking earlier, I was thinking about Angela Duckworth's book, Grit. Has that informed your thinking at all?
Absolutely. I've read her book, and I think we've even exchanged an email or two. And so yeah, her grit psychology is definitely informed some of my work as well. And she's a part of that positive psychology platform. So most definitely.
Well, a lot of what you were talking about, I was thinking about, like, because grit can inform your purpose. It can, and she talks a little bit about that as well.
Right.
And then you've got enhance your mindset and performance. And I'm just wondering about Carol Dweck's book, Mindset.
Oh man, you're all in my lane, brother. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep. So we teach our kids that, right? The difference between a fixed mindset and growth mindset. And so oftentimes I'm like, son, is that a fixed mindset or is that a growth mindset?
Yes.
And my wife does good, and she's got this thing that she does, good, grateful grit or something like that. And I'm sorry if I messed it up, babe. But yeah, so Carol Dweck's work and Angela Duckworth has informed some of the stuff that I do.
Well, we talk a lot about that at the River, and that's so interesting to have a dad who's a psychology professor. He's going to tell you, is that fixed mindset or growth mindset?
That's right.
Okay, so DeAngelo, like, what do you do for personal development? How do you sharpen your saw?
Yeah. I read a lot of textbooks, man. I don't read too many self-help books because I'm always in textbooks. And a lot of times I have to just get in quick and get out, right? And then because I spend so much time in textbooks, when I turn it off, I try to turn it off because sometimes it's just draining, right?
Yeah.
So taking the concepts, right, and applying those in a way to myself first, and then distilling that to better other people.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's typically what I do. And then the second part of it is, man, is I stay in the gym like you know, and I tell people in the sauna, the sauna is my therapist. Okay. So all of those things I think help me to stay on the right path.
Love it. Well, health is wealth is a phrase I heard recently. I like that phrase.
Yeah.
Well, do you have what book are you currently reading that's not a textbook, or unless it is a textbook?
It's probably text. And I've been working on this integration project, right? So I've been integrating psychology with my Christian faith. And there's some people who've already beat me there. And so I spent a lot of time doing that. And there are textbooks that I use to do that. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, one of them is Positive Psychology and Christian Perspective. I forget the author. And then the other one is Social Psychology and Christian Perspective.
Well, I think you can turn the kaleidoscope a little bit and do it in your own unique voice and way, and that will have resonance to people, especially if you're doing that through your purpose, what you know you're calling.
That's exactly what I do. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite podcasts other than, of course, Stories from the River?
Stories from the River is dope, man. I just find what appeals to me in the moment, and typically it's a lecture or something from a psychologist that I'm reading, and I just attend to that, and most of the time that's on YouTube or something like that.
If you're at the gym, what are you listening to?
Oh, I gotta have my music going, man. Yeah. Because I've just had a whole day of grading papers, of talking to people, of writing, working on my books, and so I unplug, I turn it off, and most of the time, man, I have a playlist that I've curated that's pretty dope. And so, yeah.
What are some of the artists or songs? Can you share that?
I don't want to share, man. Get out of here. What's wrong with you?
It's okay. This is a trust tree. This is a non-judgment zone. Okay. Hey, what do you and your wife do for fun when you're not reading textbooks? Yeah. Or, what are some of y'all's hobbies? Are you a foodie? You guys gonna go out to dinner?
Oh man, we are pizza foodies. That's probably because of me, and that's keeping the extra 10 pounds I've been trying to lose for a few years on. So yeah, we love trying new pizza everywhere we go, every city we go. Where's the banging pizza? That's where we want to try.
Who doesn't love pizza?
Right. So that we enjoy sitting, we take walks, we enjoy nature, and so those kinds of things. And hopefully I'm not missing anything, but for us we keep it simple and try to enjoy some of the just most simplest.
Well, tell us about you've talked a lot about your wife. Tell us about your wife, your family, and just tell us about your family today.
Yeah. So today, my wife is beautiful. She keeps me put together, man. I mean, it's I don't just come off the shelf like this every day. We just recently celebrated our 10th year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Our son was born on our anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so he's 9. So every year we have to, and I think I got to make up some time because we usually celebrate his birthday and sometimes forget our anniversary.
You're not off the hook there.
Right. So he just turned 9, and then I have another son that's 7. And of course, my daughter, she's about to be 18 and headed to college. You know what I mean?
And what are some of your favorite habits or routines?
My favorite habits or routines are, I love to give me a beer or a mixed drink and let's go in the backyard with my family, turn on the grill, let my kids play, and just have this nice family-oriented environment. Man, I'm in heaven.
That's awesome.
I'm in heaven.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as you construct yourself and you do this gap analysis, so you said DeAngelo 4.0 when you were 32. How old are you now today?
I'm 45, so I'm at 4.5.
You're at 4.5. Now, who are you thinking of? Who is DeAngelo 5.0 or 5.5? Have you done that work? In other words, let me ask it this way.
Yeah.
In a more practical way.
Yeah.
What are your future goals, dreams, aspirations, and how do those align to your calling?
Yeah. So I want to do more of what I'm doing currently.
Okay.
I want to speak more. I want to teach more. And I don't mean necessarily just teaching in the seminaries. I mean, the university setting, right? I want to write more, right? And so I'm finishing up this book. I see.
Tell us the title of the book again.
Yeah, Yours to Design.
Yours to Design.
Constructing a Life That's Meaningful.
Constructing a Life That's Meaningful. Coming out in the fourth quarter this year.
That's right.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So write more. And so everything that I am and everything that I do is just do more of that. Also, hey, I got this wild goal about becoming a mindset coach for the Carolina Panthers. So if you know Frank Reich, then hook it up.
That's awesome. Well, so the first round draft pick will have already been selected by the time this airs.
Right.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of talk about Bryce Young. But
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, but we're
going to edit this if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Stroud is not a bad selection for me either, but I don't keep up too much with the college ball.
Yeah, okay.
So, there's some people who know more about that than I do.
Hey, I want to go back to one other topic. You talked about Norman Geisler and this concept of legacy and this phrase expiring, not retiring. Can you give us, what does that mean, expiring, not retiring? And Mark Batterson said it this way.
Okay.
He wants to die young at a ripe old age.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So tell us when you say expiring, not retiring, and what he taught you about legacy, can you just give us a little bit more on that?
First, Dr. Geisler didn't necessarily teach it. I caught it from him.
Oh, wow.
So that was something I caught. I don't even think I've even heard him use the term legacy.
Okay.
I just caught it. Charlie, if you could do what you love, why would you stop doing it? And so right now I do what I love. I do what I enjoy. This doesn't feel like work for me, And so I tell my kids all the time, you guys will stop me from traveling to go speak. You guys will stop me from teaching. If you love it, and this is what you were called to do, and that's what you were put on earth to do, why would you ever stop? And it's not for a paycheck, it's not, and I get paid well to do what I do. But if all of that went out the door, I think I'd still do the same thing,
Gotcha.
So expiring, not retiring. And I think people want to retire because perhaps they don't love what they do, and it's not this intrinsic, purposeful thing that is in them. That it's, and so for me, I just don't see it. And that's what I saw with Norm. Mm-hmm. He enjoyed what he did so much that his kids made him stop because he couldn't no longer do it physically.
Got it.
Yeah.
So DeAngelo, if anyone wants to hire you as a cognitive behavioral coach, a mindset coach, or to learn more about you or to ask more of these questions, what's the best way to keep up with you or follow you?
Yeah, so keynote speaking and that as well. I am DeAngelo Burst on social media, and then they could always go to my website at DeAngeloBurst.com.
Love it. DeAngelo, thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us at Stories from the River.
Right.
This has been a pure joy.
Thanks,
and
Charlie.
Learned a lot. Thank you, guys. This is Stories from the River, the DeAngelo Burst series.
All right. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.